Alright, what's going on guys? WeBull's back again, and I wanted to make this video for quite a while, but honestly I've been too lazy to, and I finally got time to sit down and just actually put this video together. A lot of people have been coming up to me, how do I build my character, how do I build my character, and I always say the same thing for almost anyone that asks me questions, and I always end up getting cut off. So this is going to be the one-stop shop when it comes to accessories. We're going to talk about SP items, we're going to talk about NAD characters, SP based characters, and how to build your character. If you're new to the game, hopefully this helps you. First and foremost, how to build your character. Does your character at 6-star, max level at level 200, have a frenzy or flurry? If they have frenzy, they're an SP based character. You care more about your strong attack damage, your special moves. When it comes to NAD characters, if the character has flurry, they are going to be a normal attack damage character. We call them NAD, and that is going to be based on attack, focus, maybe stamina, defense, depending on what kind of content you're running. We're going to talk about everything here, and this is going to be a relatively long video, so I feel free to rewind if I talk too fast. I'm going to try to break it down as fast as I can, but yeah, either way, let's just get right into it. First and foremost, let's talk about spiritual pressure based characters, just because those are the characters that in my opinion are more fun, because you can actually use your strong attacks, your special moves. Maybe you use your NAD if you're about to get smacked, or you just run away and flash step. Either way, SP 50% items are obviously going to be at the top of the list. Those are going to be like the end all be all, like the final boss of collections. Right now, obviously these are really rare. Whenever someone asks me, oh, how do I build X character, if they're an SP character, I always say, and I always start off with the SP 50 item. Let me finish. If you don't have that item, then don't worry, because you're not running out on that much. You're not losing out on that much damage, honestly. The Lieutenant's Badge, Fortification Pill, Shinji's Cap, these items are actually pretty good. Actually, the Shinji Cap might actually sometimes be better than the Lieutenant's Badge in some situations. One situation that I can think of right off the bat is straight up the spiritual pressure boost characters. Now these characters, for example, are kind of strange, because whenever they proc a status ailment, they actually end up causing themselves to get a spiritual pressure boost 80% to whatever spiritual pressure they had at the beginning of the run. Keep in mind that this will compound. Normally these accessories will go into effect against your base stats. So if a character has like 800 spiritual pressure base plus 1000, let's just assume that they're max transcended for some reason, right? If you're running an accessory like the spiritual pressure boost item, Fortification Pill, and Shinji's Cap, this is going to be assuming that you have them at 5-star with SP 30, this is going to be 80% spiritual pressure. This is going to be 60% spiritual pressure, and then this is going to be 40% spiritual pressure. So 40 plus 60 is 180%. So we're going to multiply this by 2.8. right? So that's going to be 5,040. However, this spiritual pressure boost 80% skill that these characters have, status ailment spiritual pressure boost 80%, actually takes place not here but later. If it took place to your base stats, instead of a times 2.8, it would be 80. So that would be 3.6. So you would have like 6,480 spiritual pressure, but that's not the case. It actually takes the current spiritual pressure and then amplifies it up. So this would actually get amplified by 80%. So this spiritual pressure, instead of going up to 6,400, it goes up to 9,000, and that's why this skill is, like, in my opinion, incredibly broken, especially on a character that might end up getting Frenzy +2. You'll also notice here we actually don't have a green status ailment spiritual pressure boost 80% character. Leads me to believe that we might get one during anniversary time. Will it be the anniversary character? Maybe. Honestly, I feel like the anniversary character is going to be either mind or speed, but it leads me to believe that within the next month we'll probably get the tech character with status element spiritual pressure boost 80%, and he's probably going to be really broken. He or she, it could be a girl. Either way, when it comes to SP based characters, personally, this is how I build my almost all of them. If I'm running regular content in the game, IT, IZ, this is pretty much my go-to. This is my bread and butter right here, right? Now, obviously, the T set, in my opinion, is better than the T cup, just because there are more Soul Reapers out there, but you might make better use out of the T cup. Say you have a max transcended Grimmjow and a 1 out of 5 Art Book Ichigo. If you don't have the T set, obviously the T cup's going to be good. These are just the SP 50 items. Now there are some other items that give you some stats. The weenie, as well as Senna's ribbon and the Reiatsu, these things actually give you stats plus 5% plus the roll that you get. So it could be it could be like a 35% spiritual pressure boost with focus 5%, but like realistically speaking, these things are kind of, I feel like these are throwaway items, low-key. They're rare considering you can only get one of each. However, you're better off just farming more Shinji caps. Excuse me, sorry, had a burp. Shinji cap will give you attack plus 10%, spiritual pressure plus 10%, and whatever roll you give them. Usually spiritual pressure boost, spiritual pressure 30%, because there are better normal attack damage accessories out there for your NAD characters, your attack-based flurry characters, right? So SP, other items that you could use as filler, like say you don't want more damage, but you want a little more utility, you could go with like a Zeta Ball, as well as other items like what's a good one? Zeta Ball or Ryukotsujo. And for example, the Ryukotsujo lets you move faster. The Zeta Ball lets you attack hidden enemies that are underground. Personally, like when it comes to farming, I actually use the Ryukotsujo. I should probably use a 4-star one too, but I like to use my Retsu elsewhere. So I actually use the Zeta Ball, I use the Ryukotsujo, and then I use my T-set just to flex a little bit. And yeah, I pretty much use her as my farmer. So I have her with full strong attack recharge. She farms point event for me, and that's pretty much her job. And she's built enough to farm any other content in the game. But you'll see here that I actually like to build multiple characters. My Halibel is still built up even though I don't really run her, so I do have her with the teacup, the strong attack damage item, and the fortification pill. So I'm not capping when I say that this is like my bread and butter type build, right? SP 50, strong attack damage, fortification pill. That's how I build most of my characters. If I click on my Grimmjow, this character is running the incomplete Hogyoku because he is not max transcended. I needed him to be a little bit tanky in order to survive Inheritance Trial. So there I have the teacup, the Espada chair, and I was too lazy to scroll down to get the Shinji cap for that. But I think that I'm running the Shinji cap on my Ichigo. Yep, there you go. I have one Shinji cap on him. And then I have my other actually built one on my Orihime. I do like this Orihime, not gonna lie. But you'll see here that I like to build multiple characters. My Uryu is 1 out of 5, which is why I use the gold Pupples and Yuki. So this is gonna lead me to my next point. Gold Yukis and gold Pupples originally were released back before Transcendence. Before Transcendence, Focus was pretty much an irrelevant stat for the most part. It was inconsistent damage because you had a 35 to 40 to 50% depending on your build to actually critical on the enemy, and this was also during a time when Yukis and Pupples were a thing. Where's my Pupples? Ah, here it is. Okay, so like when Yukis and Pupples were a thing. And when Yukis and Pupples were a thing, Focus wasn't really all that big because we actually needed a little bit more spiritual pressure, more attack. And since we almost never crit anyways, it was like maybe like 3/10 of our hit, like 1 out of every 5 attacks we crit, then it was just better to just get the base damage outright. K-Lab has since changed the way Focus works. When you hit Focus 1000, you would have a 100% chance to crit and deal 20% damage. However, there was no extra benefit to having more Focus. K-Lab, when Transcendence came out, and after a while after Transcendence came out, K-Lab changed the way Focus interacted, and for every point over 1000 in Focus, not only were you now given that 100% crit rate, which you already had from the 1000 Focus, but now you're getting extra critical damage from the Focus, which is why Focus level 3 is still one of the best, if not probably the best role that you can get if you are running a booster on your team. And if the booster character is a character with the skill called Booster, which is like a new skill that only at the recording of this video, only Lunar New Year Rukia as well as the new Premium Pull Shinji have. Focus level 3 is actually better than SP level 3, which is kind of crazy. But obviously you have to build your character around that, right? If you don't have the Shinji cap or you can't be bothered to like farm for it, eventually you might get a Hollow Bait. Hollow Bait gives you attack 30, focus 30, so that's some more crit damage if you have the level 2 out of 5 special move level. And then on top of that, you will go with like spiritual pressure 30 on the roll. Yeah, here it is. Hollow bait, stamina minus 30%. So you lose 60% of your stamina when you're running a hollow bait and fortification pill for 60% focus, as well as spiritual pressure and attack 30% up, and obviously the secondary roll. So spiritual pressure 60% on top of the items. So when it comes to building your character, if you're using an SP based item, honestly this is the build that I would personally go with. SP 50 item, strong attack damage item, fortification pill, Shinji's cap for survivability. I like hollow bait. If you're going for more damage, then feel free to go with the hollow bait, but like realistically speaking, if you're running harder content like IT for example, and you might die, you might want to opt for a little bit more survivability, maybe even run a last ditch link if you need it. Going into the utility items, we have the Zeta Ball, Ryukotsujo, Yukis and Pupples have fallen off. I'm hoping that they get buffed in the future, but we haven't really heard anything yet. The Spur Core can be used to actually add on to your resistance in order to get immune to status elements. You only need 85% to be immune. You'll see here that the maximum effect is going to be 15%, goes up to 30% when it is on a character, like this is on a red character, it's going to go up to 30%. And if you're using a link, say fire duration minus 55%, like say you're using one of the older Yamamotos, you'll have an 85% resistance to burn, and then you won't be burned anymore when you're standing on the puddles, which is nice. However, if you're frozen and have 85% resistance to freeze, the freeze will immediately wear off, but you will go through a period. Your character will twitch like he has a tick. Okay, so next we have the garbage items, the Shahoan shield, dodge, range, damage. I see some people running this in brave battles just to be cheeky. I think it's kind of funny. We do have stamina items. The stamina items are pretty useful in a pinch. Personally, like I think I was talking about it earlier, the Grimjaw. Personally, I use a stamina item here with spiritual pressure 30% just for survivability, but that's because I want to auto. Alright, I only really use these stamina items when I'm trying to auto. So let's put that's going to be all the stamina items. Keep the Shahoan shield separate. The spirit tag. So yeah, the stamina items, pretty cool in a pinch if you really need the stamina. It also could counteract the fortification pill, but at that point, if you're running a stamina item and the fortification pill, at that point, honestly, you're better off just running the strong attack damage item and a Shinji cap, because then you're just counteracting the damage that you could be dealing with the damage you're trying to deal. It just doesn't make sense. It's like trying to ask for a super extra hot caramel iced macchiato. It just, what? Why? Okay, so yeah, there's that. So that's pretty much the SP based characters. Strong attack damage items are obviously going to be this. I think that's it for the strong attack damage items. Okay, all food items in my opinion are completely useless unless you're like you need it for guild quest, just because they do give you an added, I believe. At 5-star, it does give you 50%. Okay, so it is better than a spirit core for that specific status element. Okay, so that's good. The Google glasses or whatever. This is nerd glasses. 30% chance to nullify range resistance. Personally, you're better off just using a character with Marauder or something like that. Like, there's really no point in all that. So when it comes to that, personally, I don't really care for that. Misangas, we'll talk about Guild Quest in a bit. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about Guild Quest now. Coin Watch gives you more coins. XP books, personally, when I'm running, when I'm trying to farm, for example, like right now, I'm leveling up my Byakuya with a Soul Reaper Killer. He's also a captain. You'll see here that I personally run 3 XP books on him. The 5-star regular XP book, 5-star special edition, and 4-star special edition. The reason for that is just XP. I save tickets and then they level up a bit quicker. I put them on my farming team for my point event. I'll usually put a crystal link, but I couldn't be bothered to. Okay, so let's talk about Guild Quest and seeing what we can do there. Boom, boom, reset. Oh, I didn't even talk about Tension Tide. Tension Tide doubles your special move damage. Personally, I only really use this for Guild Quest or if I'm hosting runs in epic raids. We'll get into that. We're about to get into that. Okay, so let's just say we're building up a character for inheritance draw. Let's just start off with our basic stuff. Let's say that we're doing Arpa Ichigo and we're gonna do inheritance draw. My thought process is, am I max transcended? Personally, I am. But if I'm 2 out of 5, the spiritual pressure item's still gonna be first, followed up with this, and then this. These two. Now, if I need special move damage, then I can run my tension tie. If there are underground enemies, personally, I'll be running this. I want to make sure that my attacks hit. Whenever a character is underground, you cannot hit them with the strong attack, you cannot hit them with your normal attacks, and sometimes you might even miss with your special move. Not really quite sure on the interaction. I'm pretty sure it'll kill the first person that's underground, but if someone spawns underground subsequent after you use your soul bomb, it will not hit, which sucks. But yeah, there's that. If my character is 1 out of 5, you might see me with a gold Yuki, as I showed earlier with my Uryu. I have him 1 out of 5, so I personally run him with the gold Yuki, gold Pupples, because 367 focus isn't really going to make that much of a difference, and I don't want to strip my other characters of good accessories, right? Personally, I've recently, I don't even think I have the Cape Fastener, never mind. Okay. If it was for that Uryu, if I could pick the accessories for him, I probably would go with Cape Fastener, gold Yuki, gold Pupples. Okay, so this is pretty much what I'm gonna run for IT. If I'm running epic raids, this is gonna change up quite a bit. If you have the SP item, great. Then I personally go with Fortification Pill, and then I go with Tension Tie. If my character is an SP based character and he's bonus. If he's not bonus, usually I'll opt for a strong attack damage item, but you can really go any way you want. If you're doing guild quests, the stickers are going to be really good. Just keep in mind that your normal attack damage is not going to be dealing anything thanks to... Oh, damn, that's for hard GQ only, huh? Yeah, if you're doing hard GQ, the stickers are going to be good for you, but just keep in mind that your normal attacks are not going to be dealing diddly doo-doo because the enemies have so much defense that your normal attacks ain't even going to pierce through. But at that point, you're probably running... more SP stuff than anything else. So personally for that, I'll run, if I don't have this item, I'll go with strong attack damage, I'll go with the Fortification Pill, try to keep them alive hopefully, and then I'll use a sticker. If I can't do a sticker, then I'll probably go with maybe some survivability, maybe even Shinji Cap, just for a little bit more damage if I'm trying to push a little bit more. Keep in mind that these heavyweights and speedballs, when they came out, they were pretty much dead on contact. These things are not rare, these things are very common. And I guess that's why they're not that broken. Misangas, I see some people still using them. The stickers are better, but I wouldn't. You wouldn't want to do like sticker Misanga and then strong attack damage item. Usually, it's still better to go with like a Fortification Pill, strong attack damage item for your SP based characters, especially if you have them like built up. I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to like go quick, but not be too overbearing. If you have a weakened defense for your link slot 15-15-15 skill, like Tension Tie might be really good. For epic raids, personally, I like to go like this, just in case I get hit. I could go like this if it's a quick run. I'll usually go like this, but you could go like this if you have these 3 items and you don't have the SP 50 item. Okay. I'm really hoping that I didn't lose people. Going into your normal attack damage characters, I'll put a little timestamp for that. Going into your normal attack damage characters, honestly, there's quite a lot of ways that you can build them, but the best way to build them is always going to be the same, and it's going to be gold, Chappy, hollow bait. Literally, this is going to be the way you build almost every single normal attack damage character in the game. If I go to Flurry and I go sort by my attack, boom boom, Kisuke, gold Chappy, Zeta Ball, Tokinata, gold Chappy, Zeta Ball, Ulquiorra, gold Chappy, hollow bait, Jugram, gold Chappy, normal attack damage item. Okay, that's weird, I don't know why that's there. Probably because I ran out of hollow baits. Soifon, gold Chappy, hollow bait, gold Chappy, hollow bait, gold Chappy, nat item. Oh, right, because I farm IT with him, so he needs the survivability. That's why I didn't go with the hollow bait on him. He still probably would survive, but I think he died one time, and that's why I kind of took it off of him. Gold Chappy Chappy Zeta Ball, Gold Chappy Chappy Nat item, Gold Chappy Chappy Rukojo for speed, because I want to be done with the runs. I use this specifically for farming scrolls. I think it's small or medium scrolls, I forget which one, I think it's medium. Gold Chappy Chappy Nat item. I have him 2 out of 5. I actually run him because he has guard break, so he's my farmer. Gold Chappy Chappy stamina item because he sucks. Gold Chappy Chappy Rukojo, he's a god. I'm about to go delete myself for using that. I hope you get the idea. Gold Chappy Chappy Hollow Bait's going to be kind of like the meta. If there are underground enemies, then Zeta Ball is going to be very, very, very nice. Keep in mind that not all content in this game has underground enemies. So if you see hollow enemies, you can pretty much guarantee that you don't need a Zeta Ball. So Zeta Balls are going to be like D tier for that type of content in particular. But if there's Soul Reapers, if there's no affiliation enemies, if there's Arankar enemies, you can bet your ass that there's probably going to be some underground enemies in this day and age, just because KLab has kind of made it so. Rukojo is going to be for just running. This is going to help your NAD characters clear quicker. Personally, melee NAD characters are probably the fastest farmers in the game because they're not tied down to their cooldowns, which is why I personally love my Retsu and use her as my farmer, because she literally, she heals herself and she has the strong attack recharge 18% built in, so her first strong attack comes out all the time. Right, so normal attack damage item. If you need survivability and hollow bait ain't doing it, like say your character is dying while you're trying to auto, for example, normal attack damage item might be good. So the normal attack damage items are going to be, here it is. Okay. Combat bug. Okay, so these are going to be the normal attack damage items. So if you don't have a gold Chappy, you could opt for Chappy as well as hollow bait into normal attack damage item. Just keep in mind that the gold Chappy does give 36% and it does stack with the Chappy's 30%. And the reason that people want gold Chappies, I think gold Chappies are still the strongest gold accessory in the game, is because you can run it with a regular Chappy for such high stats. Now, for example, if I take the most SP I can get, right? This is the most spiritual pressure I can get. Let's just assume Shinji cap, right? We have 50, 80, plus 60, 140, plus 40, right? So we have the 180% spiritual pressure. However, when it comes to attack, we're getting, click here, we're getting 36 plus 30 because the attack roll, plus the 30 on the Chappy, plus the 30 attack on the Chappy's roll, plus 30 on the hollow bait, plus 30 on the hollow bait's roll, right? So that's 186% attack off rip. But don't forget that this is also with a combined added, how much focus was that? 30 plus 30 plus an extra 96% focus. So your character ends up getting a massive, not only damage bonus, but you're also getting the focus bonus, so that's more critical damage. And that's not even to mention the fact that you're also getting 36 plus 30% stamina and defense, so that's 66% defense. So even though you're losing 30% of that, even though you're losing like 30% of that thanks to the hollow bait, like the minus stamina of the hollow bait, you're still getting 66% defense plus 36% stamina plus 186% attack plus what was it, 100 plus 96 focus. That's really, really crazy at the cost of your spiritual pressure, which your strong attacks still deal damage. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to braid battles, I'm a bit ignorant on it because I haven't really cared, so I don't know if there's like a new meta. But personally, I keep it basic, just do gold Chappy, hollow bait. I'd probably run the normal, I would probably run the stamina item here. If you really need the stamina, I run the normal attack damage item because I only have him, actually I run the normal attack damage on him because I don't want him to die right away. And I didn't want to put a hollow bait on him and run the risk of him just exploding. I do have damage of flow stam Nell with the normal attack damage 25% on him. And then for Tsukishima, since he gets his invincibility penetrated, now I have him with a normal attack damage instead of a hollow bait. But my Kenpachi, I just want him to just murder as fast as possible. So that's pretty much what I do with that. I don't want to spend too much time on braid battles because I feel like it's kind of the most like unfun part of the game. Oh man, it's too good. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much going to be the way you build characters. If your character is 1 out of 5, you could go with like a gold Pupples, gold Chappy. But even then, gold Pupples are kind of useless because you're sacrificing the 66% focus that you're getting from here. So you're better off just doing this. You're naturally getting stamina instead of losing stamina. You're getting a ton of focus, and then your character just deals a lot of damage. So gold Chappy, Hollow Bait's going to be the pretty much standard, and then you can go with a normal attack damage item to replace the gold Chappy if you don't have it. Keep in mind, this is a pretty substantial increase in damage that you would be missing out on if you don't have a gold Chappy. And that's pretty much how you build NAD characters. Now, when it comes to guild, let's start with guild quests, because that's probably going to be where people are probably the most fried, or at least that's where I get the most fried. Usually you'll want to go gold Chappy, Hollow Bait, and hope to God that your character survives. Okay, so we're in the guild quest, right? Let's assume that this Tsukishima had Hollow Killer, and let's assume that my Tsukishima was running a sticker instead of a Hollow Bait. To run a sticker over a Hollow Bait, you're going to want at least 4,000 attack before you even get into the match. That way you can guarantee that you're going to actually be hitting the enemies for damage. If you do not have a 4,000 attack when you're combining your base attack with whatever is this green number, which is the combination of your accessories as well as your character links, then you will have to opt for a Hollow Bait instead of a sticker. Stickers are going to be better if your character has over 4,000 attack already before the Hollow Bait. Hollow Bait's going to be there to fill in the gaps so that you can actually deal damage. Personally, I like the Hollow Bait gold Chappy just so that way I can just like not have to deal with it, but I do put on a sticker if my character is max transcended, because that's pretty much what you're going to need in order to actually hit that 4,000 attacks threshold. Okay, and that's pretty much it. When it comes to SP characters, I kind of already talked about that. Epic Raids, gold Chappy, Hollow Bait does it just fine. Inheritance Trial, gold Chappy, maybe stamina item. I would never run gold Pupples or Yukis on normal attack damage character. It's really not worth it. You could opt for this. I would personally go either gold Chappy Zeta Ball or gold Chappy Hollow Bait. And there's obviously survival and content like IT or IZ is going to depend on how well built you have the character. But that's pretty much it, and I think that's pretty much all we really need to go into. Misangas are kind of useless now, and if you don't have stickers, Misangas might be useful, but honestly, like, they're not really worth working on. The Heavy Bag and the Speedball, not worth working on. So yeah, the accessories that I wouldn't really work on or wouldn't put any emphasis on really are probably going to be these. Let me put them down here. The XP book is nice, but if you're going to be farming the point event, you're going to naturally have plenty of XP stuff. These are useless. Gold Pupples and Yukis are relatively useless for now, but you can use them on a 1 of 5 SP based character. Keep in mind, do not get rid of your 5-star accessories, your natural 5-star, so don't get rid of any of your SP items, don't get rid of your gold Yukis or gold Pupples. Despite the gold Yukis and Pupples being relatively useless, K-Lab could buff them in my opinion. It's still stupid that they have a 5-star accessory that literally is borderline useless, and other stuff that you don't have to work on in my opinion. These movie items, in my opinion, are pretty bad. I see some people use them, but they're all stats 10%, and that's with the added bonus, so you're only getting like Spiritual Pressure 40% tops with attack and focus 10%. Personally, I don't think that's good enough. I'd rather just run the Shinji cap. Misanga's kind of useless. The food item's kind of useless. If you need it to be immune in some guild quests, then you feel free to work on it if you actually need it. So personally, I run a dumpling on one of the characters. I forget which one. I forget which week. Speedballs and the melee bag, kind of useless. And that's pretty much it. Honestly, these stamina items, I'd probably work on 1 or 2. Feel free to get like a stamina 40 roll or stamina 24 roll. If you need the stamina or feel like you'll need it, personally, you're not going to use them enough to merit re-rolling them like 100 times with 100 brushes, just so that way you can get like attack 30 on a mediocre item. If you need the stamina, you need the stamina, right? But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll leave it at that. Guys, grind on, catch up, stay blessed. I hope this video actually helps people. It might confuse people more, but for the most part, your SP characters you're going to build the same way. And for the most part, your normal attack damage characters, your flurry characters are going to be built the same way. But I'm going to leave it at that as a grind. I'll catch up with you. Stay blessed. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, have a great day. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.